Alright, so I am supposed to tell you about my first love story today.
The first time that I experienced love was when I was at the age of 18 and my ex was at the age of 22.
My first love was during high school. He was 6'2". He had a big afro. He played bass guitar, rock and roll.
Well, I had my first love when I was only 15 years old, and he was such an incredible and amazing guy.
So my first experience, my experience with first love, basically, it started about a year or 2 years ago, actually.
I met my first love when I was 17 years old, and we went to school together.
The story is a little bit sad. I was like 17 years old and he was 17 years old too. I met him in a pool party.
My first love, not my first relationship, my first love was 3 years ago.
So for me, my story happened a couple of years ago, and it was very unexpected because I didn't really like the person.
I fell in love for the first time when I was 14 years old. 14 was the age where I met God, where I became more and more myself, and I definitely think that this process and this journey that has continued over the years after being 14 years old definitely has something to do with this person who shaped me like no one else did.
He was such a huge and important part in my life, and I wouldn't be who I am if it wasn't for him.
He was one of the first people I felt like I could easily open up to.
We had these profound and deep conversations for hours.
This relationship actually really helped to shape not just my life, but myself as a person, because I learned so much.
I spent the most beautiful days of my life with her, and I knew that falling in love was a bad idea, especially with Joyce.
But we just got along really well. We had a lot in common, and it was very easy to talk to.
It was a very unclear relationship. It was partly in requited love and not really as well. It was in so different phases and periods and moments that it's really hard to explain, and I can't even begin to tell you. But I later found out that this person really cared for me, probably just as much as I did for him, but I didn't know it all along.
Yeah, I was in love with him for a few years. I was always afraid to tell him outright. We would hold hands a lot, but I never wanted to tell him outright that I loved him because I was afraid he would say no, that he didn't love me back.
End up really caring for him more than I should, but I never actually really told him because I knew it's just not gonna happen.
It was very innocent. Nothing really happened, but he was the first person that I really cared about.
Had fights and disagreements, and then we made up, and then we started talking again, and this and that. And it was also a long distance relationship. It was also an online relationship. So it's kind of funny for me because like my first experience of love is very different, I guess, from what a lot of people may consider a first experience of love, because there was no physical contact, there was no physical intimacy, there was not even the sound of a voice, there was nothing but words and a face and feelings and moments that still to this day are very precious to me.
But he has become a very important part of my life. Everything that he's told me, everything that we have been through has been a wonderful, unforgettable experience. Like, it's not just amazing, it's just like a really good learning curve.
A friend of mine, he invited me to a party and he was there. he was there in the party. I didn't know that he was there, but he was there, and he gave me the first kiss that night. And I remember that first kiss was like fireworks. Everything that happens on the movies and things like that are real.
Lots of good memories together. Always doing silly things. We'd drive around for hours just talking, listening to music. We'd bake things together like blueberry scones or pancakes or pies. It was good. It was refreshing. It was nice. Really nice guy. We made a lot of music together.
I loved this person until I turned 18, and that's 4 years of my life, and that's a lot, and that's 4 years without receiving anything really. I became really scared of being hurt, and I also really valued the intimacy that's not to be found in physical contact, the real intimacy in my opinion. And I also strongly value not just being loyal and committed and faithful to someone. This person was not necessarily a good person. At the time we met, I can pretty confidently say that he was not really a good person. But he made me feel really shitty and miserable, and he also made me feel super loved. And I think the roller coaster of all of that was definitely too much for someone my age.
And it didn't end as I had hoped it would.
Our story was full of love, full of joy at the beginning, but with time it became messy and complicated, just like every other relationship, because we were both super young at that time.
We couldn't see each other that much. He asked me to be his girlfriend, but I was like not sure about it, crossing for economic problems, so we couldn't sacrifice anything.
Number one thing, main reason why we broke it off was because of religious reasons. And I'm sure you've heard of the phrase before that love conquers all, love conquers everything, but realistically it doesn't.
Next thing I know, we were saying goodbye, and I was about to go to her country 8 months later. But things went wrong. She stopped replying to my messages a few months later. So I had just, got into another relationship.
One day I did tell him, I wrote him a letter, and he told me no, he didn't love me back, but I don't regret it. It was a great time, and I miss him, but yeah.
For the longest time I felt really nostalgic, and I longed so much for something to come out of this, for something to finally happen.
Although we broke up 7 years ago, I still think about him, I still miss him a lot, and I do cherish all of the memories that we have together.
I will say that we are friends even till this day after 5 years of meeting each other. I've told him a couple times that I still love him very much, not in a romantic way, but in a friendly way.
Even though I know there won't be a future for the two of us, no matter how much I want it, it's still good. I have literally no regrets over this very funny, strange relationship.
So after 3 years, I finally decided at the beginning of 2017, instead of trying to forget her, I hope that one day I will get my true love back.
4 years later, we are still together, and he continues to be my best friend and biggest supporter, and one of the most selfless and considerate people I know.
I only have positive memories because I think it was true, beautiful love. Because I received a lot of love, and I had the proof of so much love, and because it made me so empathetic and compassionate, and I really think it made me a better person.
So, love, it does hurt, but in the end, love is enduring, love is being selfless, and I think that I have been practicing that by keeping him in my life.
That was it. Like, I could just care about him, and I could just be able to love him from where I am. And I still do. I do miss his company sometimes, but it's okay. It's not so bad. And no regrets. Just really good memories.
I'm fine where I am now, and I accept that it's a phase, it's a moment in my life that's so precious and valuable, and it's a person I still care very deeply for, but it's not something I long for anymore. And you know, it happened quite recently that I didn't feel the need to come back to this person, or to think what would this person do, what would this person say, or to wish I could be with this person when I felt down, when I felt lonely. Yeah, I'm just happy overall. It was a wonderful experience, and I guess it's always gonna be a very special part of my life, a very special little something that never really happened. And I guess it's also very special because of this. And I like the fact that it never was acted on very much. I like the fact that it is still sort of like a dream. And I guess I do like that a lot.